Hey guys, it's Canadian Off-Road 4x4 here today, and we are going to be doing a new product for Auxbeam lighting. And today what we're showing you guys is that they have some new work lights available in the ranges of 3.5 inch to 4.5 inch lights. They come in a variety of sizes. They've got rectangle, round, and triangle. And what they're basically a new design and more powerful LEDs. A little more low profile and just something different. They also come in spot, flood, combo beam, and yellow and white. So it's a big variety. And today what I've got here is the flood beam rectangle ones. They are 15 watts each, producing about 1800 lumens each, as well as they're just an updated style. They have a PCB material lens to them, a very unique style lens and design to them. So, Kale, can I see the work light, please? So they kind of look like Wally's eyes. They're kind of unique there. They're very nice. They're very well built. They're aluminum alloys as well. They don't produce a lot of power. They're 15 watts, as I've said. So together they're 30 watts total, so not a lot of power, but we're gonna find that out as well and see what they're rated at. I have a amp reader with me, so we're gonna test that out. But just to kind of show you there, this is how it is. It comes with the bolt and bracket all together kind of thing, very loosely. Very well constructed. They're a couple pounds, I'd say at least, for sure. These ones are the 4-inch and they're flood beam, as I said. Just a simple wire to it. I mean, you wire it up how you want to kind of thing, right? So, but they are very, very nice for sure. I mean, there's not too much to say yet until we start showing you guys the output of them. First, we're going to do an amp reader test to them there, and then show you some output shots. We're going to show you the output of them in the garage here, but then tonight we're going to go out and then we're going to really play with the lights. I'm not too sure if I'm going to run these on my ditch brackets, but to show you guys what they kind of look like compared to my side shooters, I'm going to show you right here, right now. As you can see, my side shooters are right here, and here is how they look side by side. So I'd say they're about almost the same length for sure, or the width, whichever you want to look at. Definitely not as tall, so they're a little bit more low profile. And yeah, they're really nice looking lights for sure. I mean, I'm happy to help them out and show off this new product that they got going on here. So give me a second here. We're gonna hook it up to my battery here. I'm running this is a little test setup that I got going on here because I do a lot of testing with all the lights that I get and that I buy there. So these are off of my Smittybilt air compressor clamps there that I came with. I recently changed it to a marine plug here, so it's a little easier to plug in my air compressor when I'm off-roading or helping someone out. So I have the clamps here, and my buddy wired it up with some alligator clips on the end, good length wire. They got rubber grommets on them, so they're not going to contact each other and everything like that. So we're going to use this to test out the lights, and so we're going to show you the output, and then we're going to show you what they're reading for wattage-wise. So let's get right into it. Okay, so we're getting it all hooked up here. He's just clamping them on for me. It's a little bit easier when he's doing it so I can show you guys how the output is. We're just gonna shoot it right to this wall here. Just so, hey, yeah man, that's shooting in my eyes. It's a little bright. Okay, clamp them on there and then point them at the wall here. So they are definitely bright. All right, point it at the wall there. So these are the flood beams. They almost look like a spot beam, but I'm not 100% sure. We're gonna see what it's like when we get out to the road there. They honestly do look like a spot beam, or am I crazy? That's very different. I double checked this, by the way, guys. They are definitely a flood beam because of the way the lens is designed. It's very easy to spot the differences, but I could be going crazy. But I'll double check with them just to make sure. But that's a really fancy little flood beam that they got going on here. So, yeah, that Kale's playing with his fingers there. So right now we're gonna, give me a second here to get this set up properly. Now we're gonna grab our amp reader and we're gonna show you guys how much power it's actually putting out wattage wise. Okay guys, we're ready to go. We just wanted to test it all. So I'm using this little reader here. It's a Uni-T, like a 100 amp reader. The model number is UT210E. Just in case any of you guys are curious if this thing's like accurate or way off base, I did compare it to a friend's $150 amp reader. This thing was like 30 bucks, I think. So, and it's pretty accurate. I mean, it's probably off by like a smidge. I mean, all of them are going to read a hair differently, but this thing is fairly accurate, and it seems to be accurate from all the lighting I've tested. So I'm going to hook it up to the positive lead on the light side and not through my cable, just so there's no confusion. And then we're going to see what actual wattage this thing puts out. So I'm going to hook it up here just like this. It just clamps onto there. And then he turns on the light and we're going to see what it reads. So it is putting out 2.6 amps. That's what it's showing here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this again. So unclip. So it says 2.6 amps, but I always do about double checks just to be safe. So I'm going to hook it up again to this. He's going to turn it on. And it is indeed reading 2.65 amps. So we're going to do the quick math on that, and then we'll get back to you guys in a second here. So we just did the math here. I checked like 3 different sites here just to be kind of accurate. I checked one that went from amps to watts, and then I did a watts to amps and made sure it was on DC there. So at 2.65 amps for this light is 36 watts. And they are claiming only 15 watts a piece and total of 30 watts for these lights. So, I mean, is it bad to maybe advertise under the power? I don't think so. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. I don't know. But for 36 watts a piece, when they're only telling you 15 watts each, I mean, that's double the power wattage of the lights they're putting out. So, and if they're reading 2.65 amps, you times that by 2, you got a little over 5 amps worth of power. And if you watch my side shooter video, those only put out about 3.6 amps total, which actually, those put out more power than they claim to, because those were claiming at about 18 watts a piece, and they were putting out about 22, 23 a piece. So these ones are double, but so far Auxbeam has been really good with their numbers. They're not claiming faulty numbers or anything. So that is quite impressive to see that it's putting out this much power. But at the same time, these lights are a little bit more money, but they're also quite worth it, I think, so far from what I can see. They're very well constructed, and they sit very nicely with a bracket and all that. So now we're going to get to some nighttime shots here shortly for you guys, and we're going to hook up both of them together. So we're going to solder them together just so we can use them both at the same time. And then I will also do another amp reader test there, so we can see how much power they're putting out, which we'll probably do here shortly, so we can show you guys that. And then we're going to go outside and put them on my truck somewhere, and we're going to do some output shots for you. So stay tuned for that in just a millisecond, I guess. So we got them soldered together just for like kind of temporary use for this video. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep them like that, but I'm just going to show you guys now with them both connected of what they're going to read for power outage. So we're going to kill it like that, and he's going to connect him, and I'm going to go blind. So they are putting out together just under 5 amps is what they're showing there. So unhook it again, Kale. So I'm going to unhook here. I'm going to zero this out. Why are you dancing?
I don't know. It's cold in here.
You're cold. He got to take a wee-wee. Okay. So now we're going to hook it up again. And he's going to do that, and they are putting out together. So if you parallel them together, they are just under 5 amps. So we're going to do the math here on that, unhook them. And so I'm going to do the math quickly on that and tell you guys what the total is between the two, just to see if it changes. Ow, that blinding, man. So just to double check everything, it's so you take your amperage, you times it by your voltage, so you can go anywhere from 12.5 to upwards of 13.8, and obviously when you multiply more, it gets a little bit more power. So between the two at 4.95 times 13.8 volts gets you 68 watts, which is about 34 watts a piece. So therefore, they're still putting double their power rated of 15 watts each. So, which is amazing. I really don't know how or why it's doing that or why they're rating them under, but that's quite amazing to me to see that they're putting out. I'm not 100% sure why they lose a little bit of amperage, but me and Kel think it's just because they're drawing power from each other, so now it kind of evens out. But I mean, if they were rated at 2.65, you're down by like 0.1 or 0.2 amps. So I mean, that's not a huge difference to see. So now we're gonna get to nighttime in about 7 hours or so. So when that happens, we're going to go out into a road and we're going to start showing you guys some night shots and see how these really perform. And we're going to get some really good tests here for you guys. So watch that in just a second. Seriously bright though. Those got some really good distance. Okay guys, so that will conclude this video. You see all those night put shots there. I get they may not be 100% there. It's a little difficult because I'm just wiring these up. I might in the future actually put these on the brackets, but for showing you what they are out there, I mean, that's as good as it kind of gets. It's more or less just pointed them in the right direction kind of thing. They're soldered together, and I just had them sitting on the hood and connected to my battery through there. So it was nothing like dramatic or anything like that, but I also didn't want to run them too long with just being on the battery like that. So I got as much as I could. But as you can tell from them, I mean, you can go back and look at the output shots again as I was showing it, but we were kind of moving them up and down just to see how far they shoot out. And they are indeed a floodlight. It is a little weird on that output, like when we saw in the garage, but they actually are quite the floodlight, and the light output is ridiculous on those. Like, I am quite impressed with these lights. Like, wow. Like these are, they would blow the side shooters out at least like 2 or 3 times over for sure. They are very, very bright and very well focused light. You can shoot quite a bit distance out of them. So it's hard to say how far they shoot out, but I would say that you could probably aim them out quite far and still see a good amount of light there. So you'll see that a little bit in the video there, on the nighttime shots you see there, that we were aiming them. So they were shooting wherever you see it really white light, they were shooting so far down. So they're getting all their light output there, but then we were slowly moving it up so that we could see how far they were shooting out. And they made quite a bit of distance there for being a flood beam light. So it's like, what are the spot beams like, right? So maybe I'll have to grab the spot beams now. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video there. You got double the power, a well constructed light, very well built, very unique build, and I think too. They're very well constructed. You know, you got Auxbeam on the light here. They sit in a little bit. They're kind of like an offset wheel. So they sit in a little bit. They're not sitting like outside of the lens or out facing. They're a little bit in. So they're kind of a little more protected. There's not much else I can say on them. I mean, like they're center wire. They're not off to the side or anything like that. So they're not too difficult to wire up or anything. Like I said, they don't feel too heavy. I'd say at least 3 or 4 pounds at most. 2 to 4 pounds at most each. So they're quite light for what they are. But just before I leave you guys here, I'm gonna do a little measurement here just so you kind of have an idea of the size of them, just for more specific, just in case you get curious. So these are indeed 4 inches in length. Depending on how you look at it, but either way. The light with the brackets, we'll try and go the bracket here, but I'll just do the light itself. The light itself is 2.5. Then the bracket, so like this little end, so I'm going from this light to here is 2.5. So then from here to the bracket would be another 1 3/8 inches. So I'm not doing math today. 3 3/4 on your other length or width, whatever the heck you guys like. The depth, so like how deep they sit back. So you go from back here, 2.5 depth. So they got a big booty, you know, like look at that, right? So there's a little bit of a chunky monkey on it. Definitely a little bit deeper, deeper than most lights that you'll see. So, but yeah, I mean, you guys, if you want to see more, let me know. I really like these lights. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with them just yet, but I'm definitely going to keep them around and see what interest I can get out of them. I saw quite a few people liking these lights on my 3GT Facebook group. So, and a few of them were asking for nighttime shots and this and that. So now they got their video there. So, but yeah, let me know what you guys think about these new work lights. Are you gonna get some? Do you want some? Do you want to see more? Like if these are rated at 15 watts that Auxbeam says, and they're putting out double the power, then what are those 35-watt triangle combo beams putting out? That's a good one, right? Keep in mind though too, I guess there is one possible danger. So like if you're just buying lights and you don't exactly, you know, have an amp reader or something, you're just going based off of what the rating is, right? So you need to figure out what fuse you need. Well, 15 watts each or whatever, so 30 watts total puts you at what, 3 amps total, I guess, right? So if you're doing that, then you're gonna run a 5 amp fuse with these no matter what, and these together, even with they're putting out more power, is just under 5 amps. So if you ran both of these together, you would still always run a 5 amp fuse. And honestly, generic size for 4-inch lights, 4.5, maybe 5 at most, with a pair, you're seeing at least a 5 amp fuse. I mean, at minimum, for sure. So, but then when you start getting into, say, 2 7-inch lights or 2 9-inch lights, you're looking at maybe a 7.5 or 10 amp fuse. So you got to be careful when you do that. So you just got to make sure you do the math of, for wattage, it's wattage times the voltage, I think, or wattage times. Let me double check that just so I can clarify all this for you guys on that. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, yeah, I figured it out. It's 50. So if it's watts that you want to find out to amps, you take your wattage divided by your voltage. So you can divide your voltage from anywhere. Usually the generic number is 13.8, but I mean, you can, like my battery runs at apparently 13.5. So, but I mean, if you want to play it on the safe side, you can do it like 12 volts and then do 13.8, you know, just to kind of look at it. But it's only usually about 0.2 or 0.3 difference. So, I mean, if these were rated at 15 watts, you divide that by 13.8 and you get 1 amp. So therefore they're only in 2 amps together. So I mean, there is a little bit of a hiccup, but I mean, if you run a 5 amp, and like I said, even though now that I've shown you guys that these actually are closer to 5 amps, you're going to want to run a 5 amp fuse with them. So, but generically you usually run a 5 amp fuse unless you're running some really cheesy lights that put out like no power. So, but if you saw these in person, you would definitely think that these were putting out a little bit more than 1 amp each on power wise. So, but let me know what you guys think of these. Let me know if you guys want to see something else from Auxbeam. If you want to see me do another review on them or something like that, or another video. I'm looking at trying to keep myself busy now with this whole world going up in crisis with the corona. I'm trying to keep myself busy as much as I can. I'm still working, so it's a plus, but work is very, very slow. So I'm starting to look at hobbies. And my truck actually has a transformation that I haven't shown you guys yet. I don't know if I will yet. It's kind of embarrassing. She's a pavement princess right now. So, but it's for function over looks. So, but all right, you guys have a good one. If you like these lights, comment below. Let me know. Give me a like as well too. I'm very happy to see if a lot of people are liking these lights, or if you guys think these are pathetic too. I'm not picky. I'm just showing them off for Auxbeam, and I'm just having some fun. I love lights. So have a good one, guys.